Ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. Cross the line in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my Impact fam. Welcome to episode 96 of the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. My name is Geoff. This is the TNAIW channel. Thank you for joining us yet again. This is the last stop prior to the pre-show we'll be doing next Sunday, 6:30. It's your 6:30 to 7:30 pre-show for Slammiversary. This is the last stop before that, so really excited to catch up on things, talk about a few things, and hopefully not rattle too many cages and have an adult-like conversation at the end of this. First of all, I want to thank everyone that pops in here weekly, no matter if it is through Twitch, live, 8 p.m. every Sunday at twitch.tv/TNAIWChannel. McFoley plug. Or if it's 10 o'clock right here on TNAIW channel, or anywhere in between, guys. We appreciate you. We thank you. The numbers are what they are. As we always say, one friend at a time, one fan at a time. And we mean that. If we were in the business of trying to get big numbers, we wouldn't have started an Impact Wrestling channel. It's that simple. We do this for something bigger to us. It's more important to us, and it's about growing this community, Impact's community, and we hope you are along for the ride. There we go. As always, there's a bunch of great Impact content creators out there. If you don't like my voice, go check them out, and including this channel, Talking Bloody Nonsense, every Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. BST. Nixon and Craig, really dope stuff, man. They're already on episode 25 already. It's crazy. They keep building and building, and they got some really cool people coming up on TBN chat, so keep an eye for that, as well as TBN vlogs, as Craig gets to travel to all these different shows across the UK, which is pretty dope. But yes, check out all the Impact content creators out there. Let's grow Impact. That is the point of this. Speaking of which, put up our little time jam there so you kind of see where we're at. If you're a newcomer to this show, make sure you hit subscribe, like, all that jazz. Follow us. We're at our Twitch number at 96 for episode 96. We need one more for episode 97. But you can see right here, 8 o'clock is what we're doing now. We're going to do intro and YouTube comments, followed by Power Rankings, Impact Review, and our poll that you guys said that you guys filled out as far as what you thought of this previous week's episode. Impact, not us. And then we're going to have a little throwback from the TNAIW originals. We have a little Meltzer U for you guys to cleanse the palate. And then we'll come back with a couple topics that should be interesting. Bey and Ace, and if they can coexist. I see a lot of that, of what this means for Bey. It doesn't mean they're going to be together, etc., etc. And then also Impact's finances. I keep getting into it with people. And I say into it, meaning I'm telling facts. People are mad at me. But if you come at me cordially, if it be here in the chat, or if it be through Twitter or wherever, I'm more than happy to have you on the show or talk to you in a cordial way about where I got the information and how you could find it as well. Because I think it's important for all of us to be on the same page if we are going to grow this company, if that's your goal. Speaking of goals, our next goal is to get some more people to fill out YouTube comments. I guess when, like I always say, it takes a lot of you-know-whats to write on YouTube comments or anywhere on social media, your personal opinions for people to judge, to say what they will. And, of course, I open them and answer honestly. I think that's the only fair thing to do. But with that being said, we have two this week. All right. Nope. Let's do that one more time, because I'm in the treehouse. All right, here we go. We have two. Elusive Mage, our new friend, another great show. Thank you, buddy. So this one's really not a comment. That's just a complimentary. Well, it's a comment, right? We'll take it. Not big on patting ourselves on the back. You know that, guys. What's going on? T Hughes 1990. But I want to say when we say the one friend, one fan moniker, we really mean it. T Hughes 1990 popping in really reminded me of that. I want to thank him. IO Productions, Datila, obviously two teammates of ours. Critical Sting 17, Parkside 7, man. Guys always coming through in this chat. Even if you skip a week or two, you're always back around and talking up Impact and talking us up, and I appreciate that. But Elusive Mage, man, and you got to give me your government because I don't know your true name, but I really appreciate the kind words you sent. You know, that's what this is really about. I won't tell his personal story or whatever, but new to Impact, catching up on Impact, joined up with us, and has been really cool ever since, man. So thank you to Elusive Mage. But Greg Blanton next up, Parkside 7. What's going on? Speak of the devil. Rumor is all new belts coming to Impact very soon. Maybe they'll all carry the NWA logo once again. Also, the Digital Media Championship returns as the World Media Championship. I think that's a possibility. It's really interesting what's going on with that. Myers popping his head back in, looking like we're going to get Rich versus him for the not vacant Digital Media Championship. But I keep saying keep an eye on the NWA. They're changing all their champions. They're still going at it. But I think the partnership in that bridge is pretty strong. I'm not saying NWA belts are the way it's going to happen or emerge, but I wouldn't be against it either. So it's a very good point. I think no matter what happens with those belts, new belts, NWA belts, whatever it may be, Slammiversary is shaping up to be one hell of a show. Top to bottom, not only the card, but there are going to be some, little things and winks and surprises. And, look, just Mickie James coming back to be the guest enforcer for the first ever Queen of the Mountain match. Guys, we have, like I said, one more show. We have this and then the pre-show before Slammiversary. And, tell your friends, show the card. Let the card speak for itself. We're going to talk about a little about that and how we could grow the fan base when it comes to Impact finances and where we're at. But we all have to come to the same realization that we could only grow this together. Okay. Speaking of numbers. That'll be my transition. Power Rankings is here. I think it is a tough week, and I think we'll see that. If you want to join the Power Rankings, make a difference, or, make your 2 cents heard, instead of just complaining about them, which most of us do anyways. You can write us at Burt Macklin 11. Burt's in charge of that. Or at TNAIWChannel. It's really simple. You're in the chat. You don't have to talk to us during the week or at all. You can mute us just every Thursday between Thursday night after Impact to Saturday 8 p.m. Send us your 1 through 10. That's it. So let's get into that. Let's get into Power Rankings. And then, of course, the review after that.
Number 10, Impact Originals. Number 9, the HBIC Mia Yim. Number 8, World Champion Tasha Steeles. Number 7, DK. Number 6, Tag Team Champions The Briscoes. Number 5, VBD's Joe Dorian. Number 4, Bullet Club Ace Austin and Good Brothers. Number 3, Steve Macklin. Number 2, World Champion Josh Alexander. Number 1, Honor No More.
All right. Hey, welcome back, Gary. Good to see you, buddy. Do you guys agree? I think there's a lot of moving parts here. I keep pushing Slammiversary. Obviously, we want to push it. We want to grow it. We want it to be as big as it possibly can be. But I also think that's going to be the proverbial turning point for where this company's going roster-wise. And Max and I talk about that 9:15 live right here on YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel, TNAIWChannel, Impact Zone number 4. But I think Slammiversary is going to be an influx, maybe not of surprises and people that we're going to be used moving forward, but a better look at where we're going as far as depth charts and who's the top of the litter, so to speak. So yeah, man, Honor No More staying at top number 1 again. Josh at number 2, even with his 10-point boost. Man, Datila and Burt are going to have a lot to talk about this Tuesday for GoGo Power Rankings. But what I'll say about it is, look, Sammy is someone I think should be on it. I think even without wrestling, he's making his mark. He's selling a damn match at a pay-per-view that is now one of I'm most excited to see. Monsters Ball, by the way. So I think he's there. Now, the only thing I would say is, who do you swap? And I say, okay, well, I guess Mia, right? She wasn't on this week. They did talk about her in a good light. Same time, I have that thing on my shoulder that tells me my daughter watched BTI with me this week and said she wanted a beer when growing up. So the little boost that are those other things, the talking about her, the aura that is around her, the star power she has. I'll forgive it. I'll look past it. We'll say well-deserved, right? But once again, if you want to make a difference, let us know, and you can be part of the Power Rankings Committee. All right, let's get into Impact Review. We got a lot to unbury here. Some really damn good matches, some good storytelling, some surprises, if you want to call it that. But what I thought, and we'll get to that obviously, I thought was a better show than last week, even though I thought last week was pretty good besides the acting and cringe of some things. I see that in there about PCO and H&M. Yeah, man, I do consider him that, even though he's his own entity. I think when it's all said and done, he'll obviously split, but I think because he is a Frankenstein-like monster, he just does what he wants. And when it's convenient, it's wrestle with H&M. So... but we have a stacked show that came out here. A lot of setting up for the pay-per-view. A lot of different things that might come to play after the pay-per-view. But let's get into it. BTI this week. Decay defeated Swinger and Dice. Once again, Lucha in the building. Datila, hey, what's going on, guys? Live from the treehouse. All day, my friend. We have BTI, Decay defeating Swinger and Dice. I said this once, I'm going to say it again. Swinger and Dice, they could lose 50 billion times as long as they get that one win for the title eventually. Bromance pop from this guy. Bromance pop. But I like this because I think I was speaking to Bert about this, about, Impact's tag division. I think it's very deep, and I think it's going to grow rather shortly. We'll get to that. But, yeah, man, I like this for what you would call an undercard tag team feud. You get Decay out there. You get them on TV, they're instantly likable, instantly attracted to, people are attracted to them. So it's good to have them out there, and the Swinger and Dice are always a good time. And unfortunately pick up the loss. First we start Impact with Sammy, and has harsh words for Moose, kind of pushing that, setting that match up. I said it right there, I wanted Monsters Ball, and they delivered. We will get Monsters Ball at Slammiversary, Moose versus Sammy. Two of our top guys who, the roster, man, we'll talk about it. The Zone. Next up is Retro Intro number 3. There we go. This one was great. I liked the last one, the one before that. You guys know my feelings, but I thought this one was well executed. Gave me all the feels. That music, the cross the line tag, man. Can't beat it. We follow that up with Rosemary defeating Tenille Dashwood, eventually getting Taya to come out there for the save. I like this because it's what we've been talking about, guys. We've been talking about Taya and Rosemary together. Talked about Decay after taking that L to Masha, kind of maybe going in her own way to expand that tag division. Maybe with a returning Su Yung, possibility there. But this gave, instant, you pick up a win over the tag team champion. You get a tag team title match. I assume it's at Slammiversary. So this was a nice setup for that. I think the fans love it. I love it personally. But very happy with the setup there for that match. Next up, you have the Good Brothers and the Briscoes on the farm. Did the stream freeze? Did mine? I don't think so. Tell me, guys. There we go. Okay. Was there a little bit? Yeah, we have a storm here, guys. So bear with me. Once again, if you watch the YouTube, I think it'll be just fine. Maybe not. Either way, what I was talking about was happy with Rosemary and beating Tenille here, continuing that storyline. Once again, integrating storylines and making that tag division even bigger, which we'll get to in just a moment. So Good Brothers and Briscoes on the farm. Look, I said last week that the top 10 thing was a bit cringe for me. They're supposed to be heels, right? It was kind of funny. It was kind of dry. There was a weird in between. Do you root for the Briscoes? It was just a cluster for me. This is what the Good Brothers need to be doing. To live on the farm, fight on a farm, edit it the way they did. That shit was gold. Very happy with it. And I thought it pushed the obviously the feud even further. Their dad come out. Man, that was just gold. Enjoyed that very much. Next up was Gia with Heath. I said it on Twitter on the live tweets, man. Heath gets injured. Rhino joins VBD. Rhino gets injured. Heath turns into Christian Bale Batman. I don't know if he was just his voice dropped. He's ready to be vengeful, to get some retribution for his buddy Rhino, and it backfired, which we'll get to in just a moment. Next up, we had Macklin defeating PCO, in which I was ready to already call the match of the night. That early into the show, I mean, that was a banger. And at this point, I know I joke. The best signing since Kurt Angle in PCO. But this dude can lose. He could fall off the top rope onto nothing on the floor. He could get his arms separated. He could be an H&M. He cannot be. He could be up back there just yelling Jonah's name. This fucker's gold. And anything he does, and I always enjoyed him. Once again, a crowd that already is a fan of somebody. You don't have to do that character development. It's already there. People are already behind him. I think he was an A+ signing with PCO. Says he's there till October, at least for Bound for Glory. We'll see what happens. I hope he's someone that could fill in some mid-card gap there, even for the Digital Media Championship. Be funny. But Macklin picking up the win. Macklin still getting the boost here. The rise of Macklin. I still want to see him win the DMC before anything else. But once again, this is a classic showing of what's bringing a guy who has a little name value, not much, right? He wants to chance to canvas to which paint his masterpiece, right? Show what he can actually do compared to what people were telling him to do. And I mean, week after week, this dude knocks it out of the park. He is one of those foundation pieces that we're building up while we bring in names that kind of come in and play around and get some name value, but also intermingle with these guys that we're trying to build up. Morrissey just took the just took the L, so Macklin could get a W. And then he left, but but still, we're doing the right things. We're building the right people. Foundation pieces, man. Foundation pieces. And this is just another showing of that. King of the Mountain flashback. The reason I bring this up is because especially if you're one of the Twitch watchers like I was back in the day, we got a lot of flashbacks. Some relevant. Some then scared us because we thought they were going to be relevant. Some annoyed us because we saw them over and over and over and over again. But this one was important. Do I think it means Booker T shows up? No, I don't know if that happens. Would I be against it? Hell no. Hell no. Especially if he's on commentary. But to show the King of the Mountain match was important for a few reasons. One, you get to show what the match does and how it. Well, let's take a step back. One, you show all the big names that were in TNA and in the history, right? You show the Booker T's, the Kevin Nash, the Samoa Joe. Who else was in that match? You guys can tell me in the chat group here. So it's important for that reason to show the names and the quality of names we've had and not just past their prime. But two, it also showed the King of the Mountain match and what it really looks like. There's been a lot of, I don't know, so much, obviously when you do the LOL TNA, you dig on it, people find anything. And this was one of those matches that people talked a lot of shit about, but it's not that convoluted. I say it all the time. Give me 3 seconds. Well, maybe not 3. Get ahead of myself. But give me a couple minutes and I could describe it. And if I were to describe it right now, I would say there's 5 people in the match. To be able to win, you got to be able to hang the belt. To be able to hang the belt, to get eligible, you have to make a pin or submission. If you get pinned or submitted, you go into the penalty box for 2 minutes. It's that simple, folks. Okay? You could probably do it better than I just did. It's not saying much, but it's very easy. It's a fun match. And honestly, seeing what Mia's saying, and I think it was it Jordan? I can't remember who was saying it in an interview recently. These women are all on the same page. They want to make a banging match out of this. They want to set the precedence for what will come, hopefully. Knock on wood for the following Queen of the Mountain matches. I think this thing is going to has a very good chance of stealing the show. It's a world title match, so could stealing the show? Sure, yeah. I mean, I guess you could still put it in that category, but guys, can you imagine Jordan on the top of that penalty box? You know, press slamming Tasha into all the other knockouts, back into the ring, into the crowd, wherever you want to play. There's just so much. This is what I love about Impact and what they're doing with the budget. I know you guys gave me whatever about the gauntlet for the gold. Hey, man, on an episode, it costs money to pay 20 people to be in a gauntlet for the gold. Okay? It costs money to have a penalty box and construct all these things with production. It costs money to put 5 people in a match, now have Mickie James on the outside, but they're doing it, these little big things, to make these things feel important. And I dig it. This is one of my most anticipated matches of the card, and that's, for me, saying a lot because there's so much other good shit. But look out for that. Speak of the Devils, we're talking about the knockouts. Deonna's backstage. She gets approached by Seals and Evans, and I love this. One, it keeps the narrative going of Tasha just looking for a way out, right? She's still that champion at this point. I know Lucha had mentioned that kind of, I don't know if he said it in this way, but the Hardy 10-10-10 thing where he kept losing in the series, and then eventually, you know, they swerve you with the win. Is it possible that she's under the radar so she can keep the belt? It's possible. I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't care what's going to happen here. I think Mia, most likely. I'll save that for the pre-show when we do our prediction board, but I'm okay with whatever the result is as long as it's a banger. And, yeah, man. I'm happy for Tasha, no matter if she wins or loses here, because it is a monumental thing. But anyway, so we have Deonna, Steels, and Evans talking about, oh, we need help from Mia. Once again, mentioning Mia, putting her on Thank You, Gary, Bobby Roode, Christian, Samoa Joe, Booker T, and can't remember the fifth name. Kevin Nash, I believe. Right? He wasn't just ringside. I'm not sure. Yeah, so with Steels and Evans, man, and Deonna, what we got after this, we keep it making it important. We keep it in, you know, everyone back of our minds. There's the Queen of the Mountain, Queen of the Mountain, Queen of the Mountain. Mia looks strong, even though she's not on the episode, obviously. She made the rankings. But when people are talking about her as, hey, we need to team up to strategize for her, it gives her the rub, right? So I dug that. Tasha and Savannah leave. That's right, Gary. Kevin Nash was the enforcer. Sorry to my audio crew who are going back and forth. We're just talking with the fire chat here tonight. But who appears after they leave? Something we've been clamoring for. I know Max and myself. We talk about it on the Impact Zone tonight. Chelsea Green. Now, I think personally the Knockouts division is probably the deepest it's been in a very long time. I also know at the same time it costs twice as much to pay a tag team as it is to pay individuals. Right? One person in the Knockouts division, you need 2 of them to be in the tag division. Okay? No matter what way you slice it, that's more money. Can't keep 8 tag teams back there, 88 minutes of television, and have them all sit catering. But Deonna, always in the title picture, is what's inevitable. She deserves to be there. She's our best knockout in my eyes. All around. And that's hard, but all around. To get her off of the main, if she loses here, which I think that's the case, and you swing her over with Chelsea, then you have the influence. Then you have Tasha and Savannah if they're not in the knockouts picture, world picture. This division's growing, guys. I still think we have something here. Is Havoc, happy that Rosemary is going to form a tag team with Ty, even if it's just for Slammiversary? Is Su Yung returning? Giselle still hasn't found a partner. Will she need to find a new one after Lish gets mauled by Masha? There's a lot of questions. But all of it's pointing to depth. Okay? So, something to be excited about. Building the divisions. Next up, we have Gia backstage with a blast from the past. It is the Blueprint Matt Morgan. Just fresh from getting his DNA down from space, I guess. I was never a fan of Matt Morgan, to be honest. I thought he had potential. I think there's some great qualities. I think the booking was a little wonky sometimes with him. I think they didn't do him any service by putting in him some lifts in the Hogan era. That kind of hurt his credibility. But it was nice to see him back, especially after I'm pretty sure all he does is talk shit about Impact elsewhere. But he seemed appreciative. It pushed the whole TNA thing. He says he's a mayor now. Good for him. That's awesome, man. So good little flashback there for people. Vincent comes out, talks about the TNA ghosts of the past, Impact's ghosts of the past. And Matt Morgan, I guess, is one of them. So, once again, keeping it fresh in our mind that Honor No More versus Impact Originals. We'll get to that. Next up, Joe Doring and VBD via disqualification defeat Josh Alexander. Joe Doring of VBD. Thought it was a good match. It was entertaining. Did not knock off Macklin versus PCO for me. Obviously, ending disqualification doesn't help the cause, but once again, it pushes the storyline that they're creating for Slammiversary, adding to the drama there. I get a lot of people are hyped by Doring. I get that they keep saying that, he's undefeated and da-da-da-da. But guys, let's call a spade a spade. Is this guy going to be able to carry a match for 10 minutes, let alone 15 or 20 in the main event? No. Does he fill a position and fill it really well? Yes. I look forward to seeing Joe Doring do stuff. But this clamoring for him being in the main event picture or the world title picture is fucking absurd, to be honest. Okay. We need more bangers with that belt. Not saying he couldn't give one here and there, but on a continuous basis, and what that world championship we need it to represent because of that lineage that we're building with it. Once again, look at it. What you got? Right? Swan, Kenny Omega, Christian, Josh, Moose, Josh. Let's keep building. Once again, I think this is one of the best lineage runs for this belt in quite a while. Does it need more depth? Sure does. But we'll talk about that. All right. So just continuing the feud here with Josh and Eric being in the main event. Next we have Gia with Moose. Moose, he's not scared of Sammy, but he is. Right. I see a Renee Michelle thing in there. I think her and Giselle would be a great tag team. I think she fits in well there. But yeah, Moose is not scared of Sammy. Eventually find out he is. But we jump to Ace in Japan first. We see the footage of how his week was going, how it ended, him in the Bullet Club, him turning on Alex Zane, which is awesome because, once again, another easy transitional thing that Impact did to show that the fifth participant is Alex Zane, continuing a feud for outside. So he has people that he's feuding with Inside Impact that want his title, and he has history with, like Trey. You bring Kenny King in the picture, who is that nostalgic X Division champion, and now you have Alex Zane, which is something that was created during the Best of Super Juniors. Really cool. Sammy and Moose brawl backstage. They gets locked in a room, kind of foreshadowing, and they announce it. Like I said earlier, we get Moose. And we get Sammy Monsters Ball. Will they sleep for 24 hours? Or maybe they stay awake. I can't remember. No food, no water, no bathroom. We'll see if that happens. Rather not. I'm okay with it not going that far. But either way, it's going to be a banger of a match. And, I mean, once again, we're adding to the Slammiversary card. Next up was Cardona and Myers. Nice to see Myers back. He's never left the roster page, but we all know he's on a PPA now. He mentioned that he's a free agent. But good to see he's still with Impact and being used there and continuing this digital media championship feud since Matt Cardona cannot. So we get that at Slammiversary, it seems, as well, which Myers versus Swan, sign me up. Is there that drama there of who's going to win it? It's quite possible, honestly. I hope Swan wins it, keeps his belt, and actually gets possession of his belt. But either way, it's something else to look forward to in putting this belt on some form of pedestal. I wish it was Cardona just for the NWA thing. Have Jeff Jarrett come in and smack him with a guitar. But we'll see what happens. Either way, I'm intrigued. And then next up is what stole match of the night for me. Honor No More defeated the TNA OGs, Impact OGs. And there ain't no shame in that. This match is what a main event should be. It's what the main event was. It's what we've been getting in the main events for Impact Wrestling. And how damn good are Eddie Matt and Mike Bennett together. I mean, for not having, let's take kayfabe here. They have obviously chemistry being, Boston kids and, some kind of working together at some point. But in a kayfabe world, for not having the time to go in the ring, and in the real world, I mean, how many trios matches have they been having together in the course of their careers? So smooth, so efficient, just dope, man. These guys need to stay. They really do. Even if you're burnt out on Honor No More, throw that shit away if you want. Keep these guys together. New Kingdom? Let's go. But I thought this was a banger. Very excited. Once again, it's a taste of what's to come Sunday. Next Sunday, Wow, holy Lord. Once again, for you guys who joined me live, we have a pre-show that's Twitch exclusive, 6:30 to 7:30 Sunday, and then we will have a special Monday recap of Slammiversary. So look out for that. Really excited about it. Yes, they did just release a Taven shirt, so that's a good sign. I just think these are just like PCO, just like the Briscoes. These are people who have not only character developed in the fan base and outside the fan base, but they have a fan base outside our fan base. So, someone we should keep around, but once again, as we always say, free agency works both ways. Okay? They have to want to stay. We have to offer them what they want to stay. All right, but that was the Impact review. What did you guys think? I'm going to close up shop on that one so we can look at the poll. All right, you guys rated 65% with A, 18% for B, and 13% picking up. Last week was 4 for C, and D for 4% as well. What do you guys think? A is definitely standing there. We is staying pretty even at 65%. We want more votes. I don't want to chalk this up to trolls, man. I said that before. Of course, you're going to have your occasional one, but are there a lot of people that thought this was a okay show? I don't think I'm being biased. I pride myself on that. Unbiased, honest, transparent, but I thought it was a damn good show, and you heard what I had to say last week. So I'm going to tell you the truth. Gary says A for him. I thought with the main event and the PCO thing alone, it could not be less than a B. If you want to go B+, I'm cool with it. If you want to go less than that, I'm cool with it as well. Once again, we're not trying to create a community of same-answered people, just like-minded in the sense that the goal is the same. We all want Impact to succeed. We want it to grow. And 65% of you said it was an A. Look, I love the product, and that's part of the reason we're going to Hot Topics. We're talking about two things. We're talking about Ace and Bey, can they coexist? But we're also going to talk about Impact finances and why that's important to me. If you follow our Twitter account, you can see me being childish sometimes and going at it. I don't mean it in a sign of whatever, disrespect or argument. I want the fan base to be united. But to do so, we all need to be planted in reality. So we'll talk about that as well. But before we get into that, I think it'd be nice to once again, as I always say, cleanse the palate, have a good laugh. Parkside there, 7 Millard. What's going on, buddy? Great show. A from you as well. Let's take a blast from the past here. Let's get something we all could laugh at for a second, or not. Someone's always offended by something. Here we go.
Tired of trolling but not getting the clout you deserve? At Dave Meltzer's School of Clowning, we'll teach you everything from shitting on Impact to really shitting on Impact. Enroll now for the low price of $11.99 a month, and you too can be just like Dave. Other classes include Bringing People Down 101 and Calling Myself a Journalist but Calling Companies by the Wrong Name. Use the code BIASPAYSMYBILLS for 15% off at checkout.
All right, so obviously we're not on Tuesday nights. It's a little old. I said a blast from the past. There's a little Meltzer University for you. A little silliness, a little nonsense to break up what we're about to what we're talking about, I guess. So many positives for Impact, and that's Gary's seen there. Yep, we all do want Impact to grow. We do. I think we all have the same goal. and that's a great place to start. But before we get to that one, I will end the show and lead into the Impact Zone, episode 4. Where we talk about Paige. I forgot about that. We talk about Paige and where she's going, hey, Herbie Herbs, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah, we talk about Paige. We talk about the necessity of a new knockout, of a knockouts tag or not, the tag team division, and what else we're looking for at Slammiversary and can change the game. But let's get in hot times. All right. We're in a good place? Yeah, we're in a good time. Good. Awesome. So the question here, and this is once again a tie-in to Talking Bloody Nonsense. You can check out their episode 25 that's on there now. They're killing it, man. They keep growing, stronger and stronger. Fan base as well. And keep a lookout for Craig as he travels all the UK to every show he possibly can, which is so cool to see, man. But yeah, check them out, man. They talk about this, and it kind of sparked something in my head, because my opinion is a little bit different. Not right necessarily, but a little different. So Ace joining the Bullet Club, Bey being in the Bullet Club, is there room for both? I think the short answer is yes. I think there's a lot of reasons you would do this. And the first one I'm going to talk about, which is I think more positive, in a positive way. Carl Anderson just won the Never Openweight, right? IWGP title. So they're planting some feet back in Japan. I can see the Good Brothers taking a long run there while still being tied to Impact Wrestling. But if they're going to be gone more, Jay just won the championship, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, or whatever the hell it's called. No disrespect. You need some Bullet Club members to be in Impact. There's going to be still some dancing around New Japan Strong. El Phantasmo. Maybe Hikuleo's on the side. So there's ability for Ace and Bey to lead the ranks here in Impact compared to take the back seat while everyone else is doing their responsibilities elsewhere. So is it possible they both stay and they form a tag team and there's another tag team and they're the leaders of the Impact version of Bullet Club, if you want to word it that way? It's a possibility. I think having what I think, besides Trey, now we're adding Bailey and a bunch of other people. Josh was there, but he's went past that. He's graduated. These are our top prospects. You know how I feel about Ace, and giving him the Bullet Club makes sense. It's that next thing for him to grow. It was for Bey. I think the number 2 thing I want to talk about is the I don't say negative, because I honestly don't know. I don't work there. I don't have inside sources, per se. I don't ask for inside sources. But what does Impact think of Chris Bey right now? What does Chris Bey think of Impact right now? It's brought to my attention by quite a few people about his Twitter game, and are we overanalyzing? It's possible. But what's important to him? At the end of the day, did he have enough of the creativity and now he wants the money? It's possible. I think if for any of you who are sports lovers or basketball specifically like myself, motor is one. Do I think Bey can wrestle, around half the wrestlers out there? Yes, if not more. Sure, yeah. It's not that kind of motor. It's what's in here. I don't question it. I don't know the dude. But we don't know that. And if we say we do, unless you know him personally, we don't know. You're wrong, Yeah, unless you know him personally, you're wrong. Until he comes out and says, this is what I want, or this is my intention, or wrestling is what I wake up thinking about, and Impact is where I want to be. That's for Impact management to know. We don't know that right now. So on one hand, could this be a sign that they want to push Ace and Bey together and make them, take the reins of the Bullet Club and Impact and grow them together and eventually have a feud? Sure, it's very possible. At the same time, is it possible that Bey has been picking up a lot of L's and not really prominent in storylines? for quite a bit now, even though he's been in the Bullet Club. It's possible that we're looking at that as well. We don't know what management thinks. We don't know what Bey thinks. But it's something to remember when we say, well, why aren't they doing this? There's more to putting on a show than just this guy has talent. Do you know if he's going to resign? Is it worth putting all your eggs in a basket when they're non-committal? I think there's a lot of different things you have to look at before we just say, oh, they're going to implode. They're not going to be getting kicked out of Bullet Club, or he's staying in. We don't know. All right. So here's the one that I want to talk about the most, because this is the last time I'm going to talk about it. If you guys want to come at me cordially and have a conversation on the show or bring some more information to my light, please do. I am researching this the best I can on the limited resources that are available to me. But I have done research. I've talked to Canadians. Hopefully there's some in the chat that can help me out here. I've followed business journals. I've looked and searched for net profits, which is hard to find, by the way, because if you Google Anthem, you guys think that 1.9 whatever billion is our Anthem. It is not. We are not a publicly traded company. That is not our information. And I want to get into that. I want to talk our ownership. I want to talk where we are at financially, and if our energy is focused in the wrong area. Okay, this isn't saying Impact doesn't have flaws. I'm very well aware of the Impact flaws. Okay, if you want to critique the product, I'm right there with you. I just did it. I do it every week. Last week I was less pleasant about it. But when we're talking about people's jobs and the ownership and going for their heads, I think we need to be more informed and based in reality. So that's the point of this. This isn't to attack Impact. You guys have to understand that I love Impact. Pro wrestling, but I love Impact. Okay? For me, I know where I was June 19th, 2002, Wednesday. I know where I was. Literally, I could picture right now. I was in my living room alone watching it, okay? And for someone like me, who had just lost WCW-ish, I was a big WCW guy. I'll say my living situation, my childhood wasn't ideal. It wasn't easy for me to make friends. I'm a Dolphins fan and a Knicks fan, so once again, not easy to make friends. Not many fans. So NWA TNA coming and being that phoenix that rose from the WCW zombie, or is the whatever, was a blessing for me, man. I made friends because of wrestling. I got more into wrestling. My passion grew because of NWA TNA. I love this company. At the end of the day, whenever it may be, I want Impact to be number one. Do I need it to be? No. But do I want it to be? Yes, it would be nice. And that's what I want to talk about. Look, this is coming from a place of I want us all to be on the same page so we can move Impact forward. And Gary's talking about Ross Foreman. I wasn't going to mention names. People talking about he should be let go. But here's what I'll say about Ross before I move on about the rest. If a bakery owner says, hey man, we need 100 pies because that's what the people want. They want 100 pies. And you tell the baker, but I need you to make it on 24 eggs. How many of those fucking pies is he going to make? And how many is he going to go to the store and buy his own eggs? Go on his time? On his pay? No. People have jobs and they have budgets. Could there be more little things and efforts? Yes, but we could get into that if you want. I don't want to get too far into Ross. I don't have any personal feelings on that. I also don't have the numbers, and neither do you. He knows the markets. He knows where merch is sent to. He knows where YouTube subscriptions come from. He knows where pay-per-view buys come from. He knows the markets that are big. He knows what he has to do within those markets. If you think he's not doing a good job at that, so be it. But once again, there's only a certain amount of money to play with. And that's the point of this. Talking about ownership is going to get me a lot of slack. And I know that. I already get it. But I once again, my goal, my end game is the same as what I hope yours is. Okay? I don't want Anthem to sell. I don't love Tony Khan. This shouldn't be TNAIW channel, which, although clever, was a clever dig. I'm a TNA guy. I hope I just let you know that by what I just said, the lead up to this. But the information I'm about to share, it's a little bit of history lesson, and I'll make that part quick, and then I'll get to why this is important to me, most important to me. So look it up online. You do all your research. Get back to me if you think I'm wrong. We could talk about it. Once again, come cordial, or we ain't coming at all. My neighborhood, bullies get bullied. You understand? Len Asper is the CEO of Anthem Sports Entertainment, president of Cygnus Corp., president of Joshua Foundation, and vice chair of Asper Foundation, shareholder of Crestwind Properties. This guy has jobs. He does things, okay? That's not in question here, okay? But when you're talking foundations, you're talking about charitable foundations. People had came at me and said, well, look, this has 100 and... It doesn't matter how many millions in assets a charity foundation has. If he spent it on Impact Wrestling, he'd be in jail. I believe that's how that works, okay? So you look him up, and you looked at, from depending on where you look, $1.5 to $11 million in net profit, more than I have, more than probably you have, more than a lot of us combined. Ain't nothing to bat your eyes at. But him and his family had an empire under Can West's umbrella, right? Okay. Unfortunately, in September 2009, financial crisis hit. And I'm going to get this right, that their low debt load resulted in breaching of certain covenants in its loan documents and led to a filing under the CCAA, Companies Creditors Arrangement Act. So essentially, they were going to be bid out. Someone was going to try to buy them. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not a business guy per se when it comes to all this. I'll keep it very simple. But he stepped down as CEO of that, which he had a hell of a run. This isn't an attack on him. Once again, you'll see that at the end. He had a hell of a run with his family's empire. Unfortunately, debt came about. He dropped out in March 2010, dropped from being the CEO so he can join a partnership bid with Goldman Sachs and Catalyst Partners. Unfortunately, it was rejected by the courts. September 2010, he built his own company. He formed Cygnus Ventures, which he still manages today, which is very important because you can find that it posted a $2.1 million profit in 2019. Could he be spending $1 billion and then making I don't know, guys. Not a lot of a profit for someone who you want to spend it all on marketing for. December 2010, they acquired a significant ownership stake in Anthem Sports Entertainment, which is now up to 72.95%. They own a majority stake in Access TV, minority stake in Pursuit, Game TV, and Fight Network, Invicta Fighting Championships, Gravitas, as we mentioned, out-of-pocket purchase for $73 million, and then Impact Wrestling, of course. So, what I want to say first about, before I get into the brutal news, I want to say this is a 2017 interview from Len's mouth about the purchase of Impact Wrestling. I like sports, but I'm not doing this because I'm a wrestling fanatic. It's a business decision. Okay? For him, it was good business to buy Impact Wrestling at the time because it was Fight Network's #2 most watched wrestling promotion on the app. So this is about business. This isn't a Tony Khan thing where this is about a childhood journal of building a wrestling promotion. Okay? It's not about spending on things just to pop the boys. It's not spending money to pop the locker room. It's not to pop us. This is a business we are running. We make money. We live within the black. We live within the black. Are they reinvesting that money? Sure, but they are treating Impact like a business. We've had people that didn't. That come in here and buy New York City billboards. Where'd that leave us? They bought Monday Night Raw television spots. Where did that leave us? This guy is growing it the right way. And that's the biggest thing I can say and compliment to him before I say what I'm about to say, and that's not a negative, but I just want to be brutally honest, is that for the first time in the 20 years I've been watching Impact Wrestling, this is the longest amount of time where I felt that we were self-sustainable. where I didn't have to look at the sheets every day to wonder if we were even going to be in business, to even look on the television channel to see if it was canceled out or not showed, or someone dropped it to put on some fucking fishing show, okay? Or some Bigfoot show. Look, we are self-sustainable. We are a living, viable business. Are we number one? No. Are we going to spend a bunch to swing and maybe miss? No. We are going to make business decisions strategically. And I think they've done a hell of a job to where we are. Once again, we have self-sustainability. But when you guys talk about it, about Len being a billionaire, what it does is it sets the precedence for the new fan coming in, or the fan that's already there, of, why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they spending the money? They have billions. Well, the answer is they don't. You could say, well, how do they buy something for 73 million? Bro, equity. I'm not a business guy. We won't get into all that. Someone can come here and school me, and maybe I'm wrong. But money, there's lines of credit. There's different ways to get it. The guy's been in the game since all of his life. There's ability to do those things. There's ability to buy a production company and all of its portfolio because he'll see money on the back end. But swinging on a billboard to sell out a $700 or 700 seat arena or whatever, we could talk about this all day. I get where you're coming from. I agree with you in a lot of the ways. But once again, the baker can only do what the bakery gives it. Okay. But the most important thing, and in fact, before you all jump on me and attack me and unsubscribe and all that stuff, they're rich but cash poor. There you go. Asset rich but cash poor. At the same time, they have the ability to do things because they're good business people. Okay. The Canadian Business Journal, though, for 2022, has said there are 45 billionaires in Canada. Len Asper is not one. It's not true, guys. And the faster we all agree on that, and we stop attacking each other, and stop having these imaginative, fantastical dreams of what could be if we spent millions for our own pleasure but never possibly see it back, because once again, it's not our money. It's a detriment to what we can be or what we can become. And that's what I want to say. That's why the last time I talked about this, unless it's important, unless there's something that proves me wrong, I'm more than happy to admit that I'm wrong. I'm wrong a lot. But I've done my research on this, man. And what I want to say is, if your end game is the same as me, you want Impact to be number one. You want it to be bigger. You want them in bigger arenas. You want bigger things. It's not about you spending money that you don't have. It's about realizing that there's a lot of money out there that people don't have right now. And how could we make people fill up these arenas without buying tickets for ourselves, or instead of relying on the same people? You grow the fan base. But I'm sorry, guys. If I jump on wrestling Twitter, I'm in the shadows. I don't want to admit that I'm an Impact fan because God forbid online I say it out loud. But if I come out of the shadows and say, I'm an Impact person, I want to give it a chance, and all I see on Twitter timeline is a bunch of assholes with pitchforks telling me why it sucks that are allegedly fans, and I say allegedly because they're hard, I take that back. They are fans. They just have a different way of looking at it. I want to be for the new fan. I want to be for the new Impact fan that this company is trying to get, and that is building through their creativity and their business decisions, and not just off a busting nut on a one big free agent signee. Okay? We are self-sustainable for the first time forever. We're making our own stars. People understand that we are a viable option. We need to start planting our feet together in reality, put the pitchforks down, and welcome these new Impact fans and tell them why it's good. Does that mean be a stan? Does that mean be a homer? Does that say admit all the acquit all the faults? No, we talk about them here all the time. That's creative. That's storylines. That's wrestlers. That's possibility. But when we're dealing in this false reality of we're billionaires and we need to spend, and why aren't they spending, our owners suck, and Ross needs to lose his job. You're talking about people's fucking livelihoods here. It's not that important. And if you can't get on that and you can't realize this is going to be a slow process burn, and it could be even faster if we just work the fucking together, I don't know what to tell you. I don't want Impact to lose any fans, but the point of me saying this is so we can together unite and bring in new fans. I don't care if it's on this show. I don't care if it's in other communities. I don't care if it's in, all the other Impact channels. Building Impact and rising it. Okay? That's what I'm trying to do. It's not hating. I hope you guys understand that whatsoever, that it's not hating. I love this company. I want to see another 20 years. God willing. I don't mean their survival, but mine. I mean, you never know. I got to take care of myself. Arguing with you guys on Twitter all the time ain't going to fucking do it. But guys, look, we all have the same agenda. Slammiversary is going to be a banger. I don't care if there's 2 people in the crowd or 70,000. Let's go in it. Let's celebrate what was. Let's build from this point forward. We are going to have a clean slate, literally the 20th anniversary, literally on the same day. 20 years later. Let's enjoy it, man. Let's tell people why Impact is good. Let's welcome new fans and not make them feel like this isn't the fan base they don't want to be part of. Look, if they're anything like us, we're trying to stay away from pro wrestling, but we're trying to stay away from that toxic argument of WWE versus AEW or this versus that. Pro wrestling. But more important, pro Impact. All right, guys. Let's celebrate. Once again, we'll be back here 6:30 to 7:30 next Sunday for Slammiversary. We'll go through them. We'll have the whole team's prediction. We all know how you guys love the prediction board. Stoked about that. Hopefully we get some of your predictions as well. It is a Twitch exclusive, so it will not air on the channel. But that Monday, I guess we can announce it now, that Monday, 8 p.m., instead of, maybe we'll go 7. We don't want to compete with Raw, right? We did once, and we failed. No, anyways. Monday, we will debut the return. Guys been asking for in our chat. Talking Points is back. Io, Lucha, Mr. Impact, Craig, and myself. We'll have a Talking Points Slammiversary edition. If you guys have seen Around the Horn or anything like that, it's exactly the same. It is a complete ripoff. Points don't matter, but it's going to be one hell of a time. And I'm stoked to present that to you guys. You can see our results of our predictions as well. See where everyone's in the leaderboard, but also get to hear everybody's opinion and see what kind of fun we had at Slammiversary. I think there'll be a lot of talking points, pun intended. I think there'll be a lot of impact, pun intended. Let's fucking go, guys. All right, what do we got for Slammiversary? We got the Impact Tag Team Championships, Good Brothers versus Briscoes, a lot on the line there. Ultimate X, Alex Zane getting that last spot, 6 people deep, what a banger. Queen of the Mountain match, Mickie James is the special guest, enforcer, and then the Queen of the Mountain match itself. Guys, look out for it. And then Eric Young versus Josh Alexander for the heavyweight title. Now, one last thing before we go, and I keep seeing this. Thank you, Datila. One, obviously, 9:15. Go check it out. Debut of the Impact Zone Episode 4. 9:15 live. You could catch it there. We talk for everything from Soraya to Slammiversary, everything in between, depth charts and so on. But with the Josh and I've said that comparison before. You guys know it. You go to a Batman movie looking for Batman to lose. No, you go to New Monday Wars. Yeah, we'll get a .0007 rating. No, here's what I'll say, though. Not only the Batman analogy, we think we know Josh is going to win. Makes sense. We got TNA, Pandora's Box still ready to open. Eric Young is the past and kind of the present of Impact Wrestling. Josh is obviously the present and the future of Impact Wrestling. After match number 2 down, we have Ultimate X, we have Queen of the Mountain, we have the tag team war that is the Good Brothers versus the Briscoes. We got, the Rich versus Myers. I'm guessing Taya and Rosemary versus the Influence. There's a lot of shit going on. So to have a main event that is just pure wrestling, There's no two guys better right now in Impact, I think, to have that match of what represents the past, the present, the future, and to represent what I think, and I'm going to stick to this claim, even if it doesn't happen, I'll man up to it. This will be the first 5-star match since Unbreakable 05. Okay? It just has that, maybe not aura in the sense of big name star power you guys want, but to me, this is, as a 20-year watcher, man, this is a great place to end the show on. Not just ours, but Slammiversary. And I think it's going to surprise a lot of people what a wrestling clinic this match will be. All right, guys, once again, 15 minutes. You could check out, I guess this is, oh, yeah, now I'm talking to you guys live. Whoa, time warp. If you're watching this live, 9:15 and just 15 minutes, you could check out the Impact Zone episode 4. If not, you could check it out on the YouTube TNAIW channel. I need sleep. And then, of course, TBN 25 is up now. Nixon, Craig, go check that out. GoGoPowerRankings comes out on Tuesday with Datila and Bert. See what they say about the Power Rankings, and if you agree with them or with the original Power Rankings, then you could also be a committee member. Catch up with us. We love you guys. Thank you for coming out. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.